DTF St. Louis Episode 6, Deep Breakdown, the truth behind Floyd's collapse, Tiger's rejection, and the dark reality of the pool mystery. Episode 6 of DTF St. Louis doesn't just move the story forward, it completely reframes everything we thought we understood about Floyd, Clark, and Carol. On the surface, it looks like a continuation of the mystery surrounding Floyd's death, but when you really sit with this episode, it becomes clear that this isn't about how Floyd died, it's about when he stopped living. And the answer is uncomfortable because Floyd doesn't die at the pool. He dies in that hotel room. The opening scene, where Floyd truly breaks, the episode wastes no time getting there. Before the intro even rolls, we're thrown into one of the most emotionally raw scenes of the entire series. Floyd and Carol are together, attempting intimacy, but something feels off from the start. Floyd is trying, really trying, but not as himself. He's borrowing Clark's words, Clark's tone, even Clark's way of seeing Carol. That detail is easy to overlook, but it's crucial. Floyd isn't just trying to reconnect with his wife, he's trying to become someone else in order to do it. And it fails. Not in a dramatic, explosive way, but in a quiet, devastating one. Carol doesn't lash out, she doesn't scream, she simply admits the truth. She doesn't feel anything anymore. And when she says she feels like she wants to squirm away, it lands like a final verdict. That word, squirm, sticks with Floyd because it captures something deeper than rejection. It suggests discomfort, avoidance, even disgust. It tells him that being close to him isn't just unfulfilling, it's unbearable. For a character like Floyd, who builds his entire identity around being warm, positive, and emotionally generous, this moment is catastrophic. He doesn't just lose his wife in that scene, he loses his sense of self. And the fact that Clark is watching the entire thing unfold from the closet only makes it more tragic. This isn't just a private failure. It's witnessed, shared, embedded into the dynamic between all three of them. That's the real start of the collapse. Clark's crisis, the meaning behind it. After that opening, the episode shifts tone slightly, but what it reveals about Clark is just as important. His sudden outburst during the weather forecast, shouting "beware," followed by random karate movements, might come off as comedic or absurd at first, but it's actually one of the most revealing moments in the entire episode. Clark is breaking too, just in a different way. When he later explains this moment, we get insight into something that's been quietly driving his behavior all along, a deep fear that his life has become meaningless. He talks about routine, about repetition, about the feeling that nothing he does truly matters anymore. Even his job, which once gave him structure and identity, now feels irrelevant in a world where everyone has instant access to weather updates on their phones. But the most telling part of his explanation isn't about his job. It's about his desire to experience something new, something unfamiliar, something that reminds him he's still capable of discovery. That's where his oddly specific fixation comes in. It's not really about the act itself. It's about the idea of still being able to learn something about life. For Clark, novelty equals vitality. If there are still experiences he hasn't had, then maybe he hasn't completely stagnated yet. This mindset explains why he crosses the line. It explains why he enters into an affair, and it explains why he continues making decisions that prioritize his own sense of aliveness over the emotional consequences for others. Clark isn't malicious. He's not trying to hurt Floyd. In fact, he genuinely cares about him, but he's also deeply self-focused in a way that blinds him to the damage he's causing. Floyd's transformation from joy to emptiness. After the hotel scene, Floyd changes, and the show makes sure we feel that shift. The energy he once had is gone. The routines that once defined him no longer bring him joy. His interactions feel forced, almost mechanical. It's not that he's angry or bitter, it's that he's empty. And that's what makes his character arc so powerful in this episode. Because instead of reacting outwardly, Floyd turns inward. He begins to think, to analyze, to question what it actually means to feel wanted. This leads to one of the most unexpectedly profound ideas in the episode, his belief that physical attraction is a form of honesty. It might sound simple, even comedic at first, but when you really think about it, it's deeply human. Floyd isn't chasing sex. He's chasing validation. He wants to know that he still has the ability to evoke a reaction in someone else, that he still exists in a way that matters, After being rejected by Carol, that need becomes urgent, and that's what makes the tiger-tiger situation so emotionally loaded. The tiger-tiger plan, a well-meaning mistake. Clark creating the tiger-tiger profile is one of those decisions that feels understandable in intention but disastrous in execution. He sees his best friend slipping away and wants to help him regain confidence. He wants to give Floyd a win, even if it's manufactured. But the flaw in this plan is obvious once you step back. You can't fake authenticity. Floyd doesn't need a scripted interaction. He doesn't need someone pretending to be interested. What he needs is something real, something that proves his fears are wrong. Clark, however, believes he can control the situation. He believes he can create an experience that will have the desired emotional effect without any negative consequences. And that's where everything falls apart. The rejection, the moment that seals Floyd's fate. When the hired tiger finally sees Floyd and rejects him, it's not just a failed plan, it's a confirmation of Floyd's worst fear. This rejection hits differently from Carol's. Carol's rejection is tied to history, to emotional baggage, to a complicated relationship. There are reasons behind it, even if they're painful. But this rejection is stripped of all that context. It's immediate, instinctive, unfiltered, and Floyd witnesses it. That detail is what makes it so devastating. He doesn't have to be told, he doesn't have to guess. He sees the decision being made in real time. That silent no becomes louder than anything else in the episode. Even when Clark tries to explain, tries to reassure him, tries to express his love and loyalty, Floyd can't focus on any of it. The only thing that matters is the rejection. That's the point where hope disappears. The pool mystery. Suicide or something more? By the time we get to the question of the pool, the episode has already given us most of the emotional context we need. Floyd is isolated. He feels undesirable. He believes he no longer has a place in the world as the person he once was. So when we ask why he went to the pool, even after the meeting was canceled, the answer starts to take shape. It's possible, even likely, that Floyd went there knowing exactly what he was doing. The signs are there. The emotional buildup supports it. The narrative direction points toward a tragic, self-inflicted end. But the show doesn't confirm it, and that's where the mystery remains alive. Because there's still the question of the cyclist, the unknown presence. The possibility that someone else was involved, even if Floyd's emotional state set everything in motion. Theories going into the finale. As we move closer to the final episode, several theories continue to circulate, each supported by different elements of episode 6. One of the strongest is that Clark, while not directly responsible, played a crucial role in Floyd's death. His actions, his lies, and his attempt to manipulate the situation may have pushed Floyd to a point of no return. Another theory focuses on the possibility of an external presence at the pool. Someone who knew Floyd would be there. Someone who may have intervened, intentionally or otherwise. There's also increasing attention being placed on characters who have been largely absent from the narrative, particularly Clark's wife. In a show that carefully controls what the audience sees, absence often carries meaning. It raises questions about we're not being shown. And then there's Carol. While she may not be directly involved in Floyd's death, her role in his emotional decline cannot be ignored. Her honesty, while justified, contributes to the chain reaction that leads Floyd to his breaking point. The real theme, the need to feel alive. At its core, episode 6 isn't about mystery, it's about need. Clark needs to feel alive. Floyd needs to feel desired. Carol needs to feel free. Each of them is chasing something internal, something deeply personal, but in doing so, they become disconnected from each other. They stop seeing each other clearly. They stop understanding the impact of their actions.